is yet another Thursday where we get to be with you this morning and of course give you many stories, news stories and insights into the top stories that have made it to the front pages, but of course that have made news all around the country and all around the world. Good morning, my name is Olive Monica Najuma, here to usher you into this brand new day with the team that is Chantal Olive Akandinda, Jerome Paul Sonko and Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. Also this morning is Throwback Thursday. Every Thursday we throw back to something that, we remember. And this morning we choose to throw back to the days where this national broadcaster, by that time known as UTV, used to start broadcasting at midday. So it meant that programs like Good Morning Uganda could never be aired because broadcasting started at midday. And we've come a long way to a point where we are broadcasting 24/7. That is amazing. Good morning, Chantal.
Good morning, Olive. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, and also hoping that our viewers are doing fantastic. We are closing into the weekend, and I'm always excited when the weekend is calling. So yeah, I mean, throwing back to to those days. Please don't argue with me. I think I was not yet born.
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. Really? But isn't it amazing that we have come from such days to today where information is at our fingertips? And if you want to watch Good Morning Uganda, you can catch it on your phone, you can stream live, you can follow us on Twitter, and you can watch us live. Isn't that amazing, Sonko?
Very much, very much. It is amazing because at the end of the day, it shows growth and development in the country. Imagine a time when the things you couldn't have access to, the things you couldn't do, you're able to do right now. So yeah, I still do believe that we have really advanced, and it's such a good thing for us as a country to see growth and development come, and especially in the media industry.
Yes.
Where I mean, we are in the information business. We sell information literally.
Yes.
So it's a good thing to be able to access information at any particular point, whenever you need it. Whenever you need it.
And for me, actually, it is still throwing back to the days when UBC was UTV and broadcasting from midday. For me, actually, I'm very proud that today I get to be on the station that the legend Ballet Francis used to be on. So this is great stuff. I don't know what Chirabo Robert thinks about that.
Well, actually, it used to start at 6 p.m.
Wow.
It used to start at 6 p.m. So you
I had even given it so much credit.
Around 5, they would bring some colored stripes.
Yeah, that's when you would know.
Be and you have to wait for another 1 hour.
Oh
then it
God.
would start.
Oh my
but
God.
Also, don't forget that TV was black and white.
Yes.
There was no colored TV like you see us today. So it was black and white. Then, along the way, people brought some kind of screen that they would put on their TV, and that screen would reflect some bit of color, not what exactly is. So yeah, you had to wait until it is 6. That's when you can go on TV, and by then there was Ferdinand. We had Didi, I think also Didi. We had Inspector Derrick.
Oh yes, Dangerous Women.
Dangerous Women.
Says the legends.
So we can have another investigator.
I still maintain my stance.
The investigator.
I don't know if I was there.
Ballet Francis, Ruth Banya.
Those days,
Yes, Patrick Luwandaga, there's Toya Chilama, a number of those that were there by then.
Now we know.
We can now tell your age.
And by then, we had what they used to call clock tower.
Oh yes. Did I say I wasn't here?
Oh,
clock tower.
A fact are
Now
going
if
to
you
be
tell
revealed
someone,
slowly.
you guys still talk about clock tower, but forgetting there is no clock tower.
Yeah.
When you say a Sawaya Queen,
it's now the Kampala flyover.
It's either the Kampala flyover. But I want to tell you, those days, don't forget, there was even a time, now you can watch TV on your phone.
Yes.
But there was a time when you didn't have mobile phones.
That's true.
When
actually having a phone, even a landline, was just for a chosen few.
Now, leave alone a landline. Now there came trouble. when they introduced mobile phones in Uganda.
The Nokia 3310.
No, the first
Those
one
were
was
the
the
nice
Sony
ones,
Ericsson.
Shana.
The Sony is
It
the big
was
one.
so
that area,
big,
yeah, very bulky.
and a person who had it would put it
Here.
around.
Here.
Yeah,
Yes.
men with
On the
big
belt.
stomachs that used to tie, so they would put it here.
And it
Now,
was a status symbol.
it was a status symbol.
You
Now,
have a
one time
phone?
we were at a burial, and because it had no side, a small, it had no vibration, the thing went off. But everybody, musirike, bamukubidde essimu.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yes.
And Raul,
Oh my
and
goodness.
everyone,
We've come a
including
long
the
way.
priest,
Had
even
to
those
keep
who were
quiet.
crying had to stop. Nimukuzika.
Oh, wow.
And then he puts it back and good morning.
Good morning, Uganda. This is interesting. We are looking back at the good old times when our national broadcaster started broadcasting at 6 p.m. But also we have looked into other things like, for instance, did you know, especially if you were born in 2000, did you know that there was a time when we didn't have mobile phones? That there was a time when those who had mobile phones, it was a status symbol for them. And did you know that we used to pay service fee to access, phone services?
I was about to say, it does seem like the both of you are really old enough.
I refuse to contribute to this conversation.
Because the kind of conversations the both of you are having this early on national television pretty much tell us that maybe you're among the founders of of some of the shows we do have here.
Yes, so Uncle, did you just do that?
But anyways,
Good morning anyway.
Good morning to you and good morning to the Ugandans. You know, when you are bringing up all these conversations, I only go to remember the fact that the coming month, Uganda is celebrating 61 years of independence.
Right.
And at the same time, UBC is celebrating 60 years
Of existence.
broadcast this very year. So when you brought back the days of UTV as well, or Uganda Television, I've seen all those names and I've not even had an idea of any. The only ones I had is Bale Francis, maybe the others that I actually mentioned, like the late Patrick Luandaga. I think those also came in the early 2000s, right? So I want to believe that all the names you people are actually giving are very new to me, but the Bale Francis, obviously.
Any programs
Oh, Jesus. Not really.
I highly
Inspector Derek?
Anyway,
Not
we have done enough of showing how old we are this morning, Trouble and
You've
I.
really done
and
well at
old
it.
is gold, guys. Old is gold. So do not even joke with us. We've been here, Abaganda bagamba eriiso ly'omukulu ewaddugala wewalaba. So we've seen so many things. But anyway, that aside, yesterday while addressing the media, the Minister for ICT, Chris Baryomonsi, said that there is now a new resolution by the cabinet to have all government officials fly with Uganda Airlines to any destination they are going to if Uganda Airlines flies there. And as a Ugandan and as someone that wants Uganda Airlines to grow, I was like, yes, this is a move in the right direction, because let's face it, Sonko, you have cabinet, ministers, you have government officials flying to different destinations, but then they fly with other airlines. Yet we have the national airline that also needs that income. So what do you think about the ministers, this resolution by cabinet?
Well, it's a good one, because I also believe it's going to create room for the Uganda Airlines to look out for other further destinations than the ones they currently have, because now they do know at least they have more clients coming on board. You know, at times the aviation sector is pretty much affected by the customers, or what you could say, the people who fly or book these flights. But when you know government officials are going to join on board, you'll definitely know that you have clients that will be paying. And again, it's like we are pushing the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda policy. There is no reason as to why, if you're going to a destination, let's say you're going to the UAE in Dubai, and then we have a direct flight from here to there, there is no reason as to why you should be using another kind of airline when the Uganda Airlines is as well here. So I think it is the same kind. And of course, when you also look at most of those who go to Kenya, for example, most of them use the Kenya Airways, yet we also have the Uganda Airlines here. Now the Uganda Airlines also moving over to Lagos, Nigeria. So when you look at all those destinations, for all our ministers, delegates as well, especially when they're actually moving out for country purposes, or let's say official purposes, it is something that we really need to focus on, that we use the Uganda Uganda Airlines. Even when they are going for holidays, by the way, they can as well opt for the Uganda Airlines.
If they're going for holidays and probably they're using their own money, then probably there they can decide to fly.
No, they have to be
any
nationalistic
airline.
here.
But if you want to be nationalistic, yes.
The beautiful thing about this whole thing is that I have not had very negative, say, comments about the service of Uganda Airlines. Someone will tell you when you are on board, you are actually served properly, and that is something that has been different when it comes to different government-owned, you know, entities and institutions. So I still believe we're on the right track when it comes to Uganda Airlines. And we need to
actually, when it comes to the food and snacks they serve, within, or when you look at the regional airlines, Uganda Airlines is up there, by the way.
We are generous people. We are hospitable people.
We do have plenty of food on board, by the way.
For me, the good move here is, we must be honest, one of the areas where aviation can get good money is when state agencies, all of them give them money, because these people do a lot of traveling.
That's true.
Let me tell you, PS, but they do a lot of traveling, and there's so much that government has been giving away to other airlines. So if this money can go back to Uganda Airlines, then it is a credit, but also the airline should not relax.
Yes.
Because now compulsory. You know, it should also be competitive. Why do I choose airline X and not go with airline Uganda Airlines?
Yes.
Because if it is quality, automatically everyone will yearn for that. So let them not sit and be complacent, but let them ensure that they continue improving their services. They are good, they are top notch, but we must ensure that whether a government official or not a government official, the best airline to fly is Uganda Airlines, and things will play automatically.
And like Chantal said, I've also not had many negative comments when it comes to the service of the airline. So I believe this is a good move in the right direction. And yes, we should fly Uganda. Even you, a private individual, on your trips, please consider traveling and flying Uganda Airlines. You will be, you know, surprised, and you will be actually surprised in a good way, because the service is really nice. And this is how we build and buy Uganda. This is how we encourage other people to support Ugandan businesses, by supporting our own carrier. And at the moment, Uganda Airlines flies to 13 destinations, and 11 of those are intra-Africa. So are you traveling within Africa? You fly Uganda Airlines, and on 7th October we will start flying to Mumbai, that is in India, and Guangzhou is coming up very soon. So good things are in the works for Uganda Airlines, and of course kudos to the you know, management of the airline. They're doing a great job. Now, coming back, before we delve into the local news stories, there was amazing news yesterday. Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania are going to host the AFCON. Isn't that amazing, Travel?
It's a painful joy.
Painful joy?
Yes, a painful joy.
Why?
Because I was looking through my own country and seeing what stadiums do we have. Then also I quickly had a fear. Can we, in this time, have a stadium that is worth hosting AFCON? If we don't, how are we not going to miss out?
We can construct one like we did with Portugal.
Before you awarded this place, you have to go through certain qualifications.
Yes.
So the fact that Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania won the bid, then we have something to offer. Let's be positive.
You know, we actually beat Nigeria.
I'm not talking like
Yes,
so much of a block. Looking at me, Uganda. Me, Uganda. Leave East Africa. Me, Uganda.
No,
yes, we're in East Africa, Kenya,
Chirabo, you're being a party pooper. I believe that if we're considered, then there is something we must have put on the table.
Yes.
That
let's keep hope alive.
You know, we have 3 years to organize
and
ourselves.
Yes, we have 3 years. So let's keep hope alive. But right now, as we are keeping hope alive, we will delve into the local news stories.
Well, let me begin with tourism this lovely morning, because yesterday was World Tourism Day. Now, Uganda's Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Robina Nabanja, has expressed concern over the ongoing climate change impact that affects numerous people. She emphasized the necessity for green investment to conserve the environment. This concern was voiced during the celebrations of World Tourism Day 2023, held in Hoima under the theme Tourism and Green Investment. However, the Minister of Tourism urged government leaders to attract more investments in the tourism sector, specifically targeting green investment.
And moving on the 27th of September 2023, the Ministry of Works, Transport, in collaboration with the World Resources Institute and Ugandan civil society organizations dedicated to road safety, have embarked on a united mission to prevent accidents involving school children in proximity to their educational institutions. Diverse stakeholders in the realm of road and transport safety, including representatives from civil society organizations, the Ministry of Works, Traffic Police and local government authorities have convened at the Kampala Golf Course Hotel. The purpose is to deliberate on the path forward and the challenges associated with this innovative approach.
And moving on, land remains a primary factor of production, providing platform for sustaining all human activity. However, the land management in the city has posed significant challenges in the quest to create a smart city. During the Kampala City Land Administration and Management Conference held in Kampala to discuss the challenges and opportunities for Kampala's urban renewal, State Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, Kabuyecho Fatogabye, emphasized that the biggest challenge lies in documentation of all landowners in the city.
And finally, on the local scene, more than 1,000 residents from 6 sub-counties in Wulisa district who were displaced by the floods along Lake Albert are now seeking compensation from the central government. The floods have wrought havoc upon communities residing along Lake Albert. Homes, schools, townships, town councils, business premises and school infrastructure have all been submerged and destroyed. These dire circumstances have led affected individuals and communities to demand compensation 2 years after the devastating events.
And away from that, U.S. soldier Travis King, who fled from South to North Korea in July, is in American custody after being expelled by Pyongyang, officials say. PVT King was transferred into U.S. custody in China before being flown to a U.S. military installation. The 23-year-old reconnaissance specialist illegally crossed into North Korea in July. North Korean media said he had fled because of inhuman treatment and racism within the U.S. military. A senior administration official said on Wednesday that after months of intense diplomacy, PVT King had been returned to U.S. hands and had spoken to his family. We can confirm PVT King is very happy to be on his way home, and he is very much looking forward to reuniting with his family, officials said. We are going to guide him through a reintegration process that will address any medical and emotional concerns and ensure we get him in a good place to reunite with his family. And moving on, 6 Palestinian citizens of Israel have been killed in 2 separate shootings, police said, the latest fatalities in a crime wave hitting the country's Palestinian minority. 5 members of the same family were killed on Wednesday in a shooting in North Israel. The 3 men and 2 women were shot dead in broad daylight in the town of Basmat Tabun, the northwest of Nazareth, police said in a statement. The Abraham Initiatives, a Jewish Arab advocacy and monitoring group in Israel, identified the victims as a couple and their 3 adult children. Police said they were treating the incident as criminal and hunting down suspects. Earlier on Wednesday, masked gunmen ambushed and killed another Palestinian citizen of Israel who was on his way to work in the nearby coastal city of Haifa. Police said they were investigating whether the 2 shootings were connected. Coming back to Africa, a coup attempt against Burkina Faso's military rulers has been thwarted by the country's intelligence and security services, and this is according to authorities. Burkina Faso's military rulers said in a statement on Wednesday that army officers and others had planned to seize power and plunge the country into chaos. Officers and other alleged actors involved in this attempt at destabilization have been arrested and others are actively sought. A spokesperson for the ruling military, Rambital Bajin Emmanuel, said in a statement without providing details. The latest coup attempt occurred on Tuesday. According to the statement, the military government said it would seek to shed all possible light on this plot and that it regretted that officers whose oath is to defend their homeland had strayed into an undertaking of this nature. And speaking matters climate, the rapid growth of clean energy technologies such as electric cars and solar energy could mean it's possible to keep global warming to the international target of 1.5 degrees Celsius, according to a new report. The report, published Tuesday by the Paris-based International Energy Agency, projects that demand for coal, oil and natural gas will all peak this decade, even without any new climate policies, and as such, there is no need for investment in new fossil fuel projects. That's even as global carbon dioxide emissions from the energy sector reached a new record high, 1% above their pre-pandemic level. Faith Bayro, executive director of IEA, said on Tuesday that the pathway to the 1.5 degrees Celsius Paris Agreement target is narrowing on one hand, but on the other, the spectacular increase in clean energy is keeping the door still open. That is it for climate news, but also for international stories.
Right about now, we get into the press review for the top stories that have made it to the front pages this morning.
Well, with the front pages, part of the new vision, how Uganda won the African Cup of Nations bid, the opportunities awaiting Ugandans, Kenya, Tanzania, who are set to host the competition in 2027. Now, China-Uganda relations at highest peak, pictorial showing that is the first deputy prime minister together with a Chinese delegate. Furthermore, government entities cited in irregular land deals. Which entities are those? You can find more with the new vision. Then inside the 7 billion shillings Uganda Wildlife Authority scandal, more of the same is with the new vision. Now, moving forward, the Daily Monitor, AFCON coming home. What it took for Uganda to win the bid, where Ugandans can make AFCON cash, and what the award means to Uganda, what Uganda needs to be ready is what the Daily Monitor is bringing you today. Congolese musician Fally Ipupa faces arrest in Uganda. Why is that? The Daily Monitor gives you more details. Government plans to upgrade 3 airports. More of the same, the Daily Monitor. Now, when DM today asked the mechanic, full electric, hybrid or petrol-driven vehicles, which ones are better? Now, in the other news, Japanese road expert dies after attack in Jinja Road traffic jam as the curtains in 37 years of marital bliss. That is with the top stories from the Daily Monitor and the New Vision today.
Thank you so much, Sonko, for that press review. Right now, we take a short break, but we will leave you with a throwback song by Genesis, and the name of the song is Hold On My Heart.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is
It is yet another Thursday where we get to be with you this morning and of course give you many stories, news stories and insights into the top stories that have made it to the front pages, but of course that have made news all around the country and all around the world. Good morning, my name is Olive Monica Najuma, here to usher you into this brand new day with the team that is Chantal Olive Akandinda, Jerome Paul Sonko and Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. Also this morning is Throwback Thursday. Every Thursday we throw back to something that, we remember. And this morning we choose to throw back to the days where this national broadcaster, by that time known as UTV, used to start broadcasting at midday. So it meant that programs like Good Morning Uganda could never be aired because broadcasting started at midday. And we've come a long way to a point where we are broadcasting 24/7. That is amazing. Good morning, Chantal.
Good morning, Olive. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, and also hoping that our viewers are doing fantastic. We are closing into the weekend, and I'm always excited when the weekend is calling. So yeah, throwing back to to those days. Please don't argue with me. I think I was not yet born.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Really? But isn't it amazing that we have come from such days to today where information is at our fingertips?
And
if you want to watch
accessible.
Good Morning Uganda, you can catch it on your phone, you can stream live, you can follow us on Twitter, and you can watch us live. Isn't that amazing, Sonko?
Very much, very much. It is amazing because at the end of the day, it shows growth and development in the country. Imagine a time when the things you couldn't have access to, the things you couldn't do, you're able to do right now. So yeah, I still do believe that we have really advanced, and it's such a good thing for us as a country to see growth and development come, and especially in the media industry.
Yes.
Where we are in the information business. We sell information literally.
Yes.
So it's a good thing to be able to access information at any particular point whenever you need it. Whenever you need it.
And for me, actually, it is still throwing back to the days when UBC was UTV and broadcasting from midday. For me, actually, I'm very proud that today I get to be on the station that the legend Bale Francis used to be on. So this is great stuff. I don't know what Chirabo Robert thinks about that.
My name, the head teacher of this great school, Ikumbia Seed Secondary School. The school has the staff room well furnished, administration well furnished, the computer lab well furnished, the library wonderful, the multipurpose hall well furnished. The teachers are also enjoying in the staff quarters. The school has the teachers totaling to 28. Ikumbia Seed has embraced the new curriculum. I want to thank the government for that bright idea. There are many students that end up in senior 4 with no document. But with the coming of the IT, the skilled children are going to have certificates in skills as early as senior 3. And that certificate is equivalent to a senior 4 certificate. Ikumbia Seed Secondary School is a very great school that has influenced the lives of people or changed the lives of people of Ikumbia sub-county. I want to thank the parents and the government for this kind of input.
So, you are ready to invest in Airtel's initial public offering? Good choice. I'm going to show you how to do it straight from your phone. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a Securities Central Depository SCD account. Dial *185*85# from your Airtel number. choose Airtel IPO purchase from the available options. Enter your valid national identification number when prompted. Before you purchase, there are a few things you need to know. The minimum purchase is 2,500 shares. The share price is 100 Uganda shillings. Select the number of shares you wish to purchase. Choose your relevant broker for the purchase. Enter your Airtel Money PIN to confirm the transaction. Congratulations! You will receive a confirmation message of your successful purchase.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it Good Morning Uganda. My name is Olive Monica Najuma. This is the time when we delve into some topical discussions and today we will be looking into the role of ICT in empowering youth for employment. Today I'm not with the usual team, that is Chantal Olive and Jerome Paul Sonko, but I have interesting guests with me this morning and they will be sharing so much on ICT tools in empowering the youth for employment. And with me right now is Mr. Ezekiel Waiswa from GSM 5G. And you're welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
So now I would like for you, first of all, to tell us about GSM 5G.
Yeah. GSM 5G is a company which is skilling the youth of Uganda, especially the teenagers, let me say like that. Yeah.
Okay. And when you say skilling the youth of Uganda, what exactly do you mean?
We mean practical work, like phone repairing. Mostly we do phone repairing. Yeah.
Okay. Just phone repairing, any other gadgets?
Yeah, no. Just we are in phone repairing. Only in that.
Okay. And no phone, assembling or?
Yeah, maybe not assembling, but just repairing. Software, hardware, like that.
Okay. Okay. Now, I understand that you're a trainee of GSM 5G.
Yeah.
Please tell us about your journey as a trainee.
Me, when I joined this company, because there was my boss who was there at that time. I was like a salesman. I joined this company like a salesman. Then after, I found them when they repair phones. So also I got interested in that. Yeah, then I started also learning how, when you are learning practically, you can be able to understand very shortly. So now, what I did, also I learned very well. Now I know how to repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what other benefits would you say you have gained from being a part of GSM 5G?
Yeah, now, I'm a graduate. Yeah, I graduated human resource management from the university. But now after looking for the job there and then, now I can like earn something now from this repairing. Now there is no need of me to look for job, what, no. Now I'm a job creator, also my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, since you are in the ICT sector, and I like the fact that you're saying that you have the tools that have been given to you by GSM 5G have enabled you to actually become a job creator yourself. I would like for you to tell us more about the role of ICT, how ICT can actually empower the youth watching you right now, in form of employment. In the
form of employment. Now, if you have your ICT in your head, you can be able to create many things in your own. If you, let me say, repairing, there is what we call software, updating that. Many people, they don't know these things, but they are just simple things. Yeah.
There's maybe they are simple to you because you have gone through the whole training, and someone out there may be wondering, okay, where do I start? What do I do? First of all, how does someone become a trainee of GSM 5G? Someone become a trainee,
you just come with your head, let me say like that. Because the tools that we can use, they are there, you find them there. You come with your head, your own. Then we train you, we start now training you, this one is this one is this one is this, and also you learn. You learn practically, let me say like that.
And for someone that wants to plan, because usually when you go to school, you want to know how long this is going to take me and how much is it going to cost me. But in terms of length, first of all, what level of education does someone need to be at for them to be enrolled into the GSM 5G program?
This one, it needs no level of education. Yeah, it is just, you just come, if you were youth, you just come, then we just train you like that. There is no need of education there. Then the duration that you are talking about, you can just, like a 3 months time. It depends on the knowledge of somebody who is learning. Depends on your knowledge. Yeah, if your knowledge, you can go slow, then you can go like 3 months. Yeah, but in most cases, 1.5 months, even 1 week, you can be finishing that course. It is just simple thing. We train you. We are seeing what is, because in most times when somebody is trained and is able to see and to touch, that one is very easy for somebody to learn.
All right. Today we are asking the question, we are asking you to share your views on the role of ICT in empowering the youth for employment. We know that the world has become a global village, and we know that today having digital skills is actually more important for any person out there. Look at it this way. Back in the day, even like 15 years ago, the internet that we are enjoying today was not as broad as it is today. Now, today you can watch UBC right now, streaming it online on YouTube. You can watch us anywhere in the world. What used not to happen some years ago. So ICT has gone a long way. You can sell and make products and sell them online. We never used to have like something like that. Actually, today we have so many people that are carrying out business online without having physical shops, and they're thriving. So that is how far we have gone as far as ICT is concerned. Now, given that Uganda's population is largely the youth, they make up about 70% of the population, it puts us at a pivotal point where we need to really think about ICT and ICT tools and how we can integrate the youth into the area of employment, into the workforce, and giving them ICT skills to enable them compete favorably with other people from other sectors and other countries in the world. Now, I said I am joined by two gentlemen, and the other is the GSM 5G Chief Executive, Ali Raza, that will be also sharing more on, first of all, what GSM 5G does. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to Uganda, good morning to UBC, and very warm thanks to this channel who has really encouraged us to give a promotion or support for this GSM skilling program. Thank you very much, bottom of my heart.
Okay, we are glad to have you. And yes, we still, Mr. Weiswa told us a bit about what GSM 5G does, but we'd like for you to tell us more about this program. You called it a skilling program. Would like to know what exactly you do, what skilling and what areas and even age brackets you're looking at.
That's the question which we are looking the answer, and we are going towards the answer. GSM 5G came as other companies comes to do the business in this country, and with time we realized that the 75% people are youth in this country, and the job which is lacking is huge gap, because maybe 20% they have a part of the job, but maybe about 50% or 55% they don't have a jobs, meaning the skill. Because we don't focus our youth to get to know about the skill, because the moment we have the skill, I know automatically we shall enter into the home industry as well. So we decided to cover up that gap, and we studied, so we have entered in, because we were already in ICT. So we complete our tools, and we decided to give a training to the youth people in this country on the platform of GSM 5G. So it has really worked out. The moment it started giving us good progress, and the interest of the children and interest of the youth was becoming more. So then Vaswa, even other Gloria, even other people, they decided to give a fully hand to this GSM 5G in this country, that we shall fully support up to these companies there, and we shall go everywhere of this country to give a proper skill every corner of every district.
Okay. Now, when you say skill, I understand that, like you said, that the rationale here is to empower the youth with ICT skills so that they can be able to create employment for themselves, because you also noted, and I agree, that a huge percentage of the youth are unemployed, and you want to put them in a system where they can be able to self-employ themselves where they have failed to get jobs. Now, let's look at the tools that you're empowering them with. What is GSM 5G? What tools are you giving these youth, the ICT tools?
35% business has gone to global market in the GSM, meaning global system management, meaning the mobile phone, laptop. The whole market is now controlled by these gadgets now. Like I said, half of the money is belong to this business now. Top of that, we have the even application on that. We want people to learn software engineering, hardware engineering, laptop engineering, because even the software engineering has about thousands of the skills to learn. For example, this is iPhone.
Yes.
It has a different software. This is Android phone. It has a different software. Even this one, once it gets the problem, for example, the networking issue is different sector for the software to sort out, or if it is unlocking issue, it is a different sector to sort out. So we focus on that. The world has gone to the moon, but we fail to produce our own engineer. What caused that? Because nobody has really focused to teach the skilling. Everybody comes and they talk about the bread, that I have given the bread to 10 people's home, 20 people's home. As the GSM 5G came, bread can be finished after 2 hours or 3 hours.
That's true.
But the skill, we want to enter into this beautiful country, because I have been here for last 14 years. So that is the area we are lacking, because once you give the skill, now WASWA is 100% qualified to do anything in this department what I have been talking. I'm happy. End of the day, end of the month, at least he will not suffer to look a job. Any corner, anywhere he stays, he can have his own small shop and he can survive. So as I talk still, the 35% people, 35%, the economic of the world has gone to this business which I'm talking about, which they call GSM, meaning networking. For example, in Uganda we have Airtel, MTN, and Samsung, iPhones, Techno. These are all belonging to one sector. So the world is now without. The second problem in this sector, the children, they don't know what to do. If you have bought a phone for your daughter or maybe for your son, end of the day you'll find only playing the games, playing TikTok, playing maybe all the sector of the phone, but it has a lot of benefit also. We want people to know how to purchase a thing through Alibaba, through Amazon, through a lot of website where you can have a knowledge, and you can get a knowledge from your child as well. Because if I talk very clearly, about 55% product, according to me, sorry to say, it comes to this country, they are reconditioned. Why? Lack of knowledge. The moment we shall have knowledge, even the button phone, you know button phone, Chibriti, something like that, it costs like maybe 30,000.
Yes, it does.
If Mr. Vaswa is agree with me, he can say yes. If not, please say no. I guarantee you, those are the phones, 90% in this market are fake phone, which is cost $7 according to me.
So
Am I
are you
right or
saying
wrong?
that if we have the skill, we can actually be able to manufacture those phones locally and we have a good quality product?
That's why we came in.
Okay.
We want to introduce the home industry. The moment you will learn about the skill, the same time, automatically you will enter into the home industry. What is home industry? For example, every time I give talks about this, for example, we have like 70% people are using smartphone in this country. Screen protector.
Yes, yes.
If your daughter buys the machine and she knows how to make
Screen
a screen guard,
protector.
one screen can give her 500 shilling profit. End of the day, if she end of 1 week, if she can sell 1,000 pieces, in this big market of 44 million population.
And everyone that buys a smartphone,
thank you very
buys
much.
a
And
screen
everybody
guard.
needs the screen guard. Do you agree? Yeah. So if 1,000 piece on small penny I'm talking, did she earn 500,000 per week?
Yeah, you're right.
So there we have stopped the girls to go to abroad to look a job, which we don't want. So there we have create data cable. It's everywhere. In the car you need, in the office you need. I can see 1, 2, 3, like 6 data cables in your office, which they are, maybe they are not having use now, but you need them. In the car, in home, in room, in dining room, meaning one phone needs about 3 to 4 data cables. 44 million population. If your daughter can manufacture like 1,000 data cable only, it will all happen when she will learn the skill. It will end the skill, automatically she will enter into home industry. How do you see?
Yeah, it is that.
That's what is our plan now.
That is
Because
the
we
plan.
are not talking about the bread, because I don't want to talk all that, but this Red Cross, those all organizations, they spend millions of dollars for advertisement to spend that we are feeding Africa bread. Come on, Africa has bread. If they don't know that, or if they know, they're just pretending. You could leave this job, but still you will earn your own food. That is the beauty of Uganda. We want, and to close that chapter, that we are feeding the bread. We want, these people has only one gap. Nobody has tried to think that is the skill department for the youth. Let's just enter that.
I like where this conversation is going, and I like what Mr. Ali Raza is saying. He says that we have to move away from the belief that Africa needs help from outsiders. He says we can actually be empowered to feed ourselves, where we don't need someone to come and brag that I gave food to Africa. I like this, and he says that we can do this through ICT and empowering the youth with ICT skills so that they can become self-reliant. A case in point, you have we have things like screen guards, like you mentioned, and we import these. And honestly speaking, up until this morning when he mentioned it, I never really thought about the fact that this can actually be manufactured locally. But when he put it out there, now it's making me think, this is actually something we could look into if we had these skills, because some of these things are not really rocket science. These are things that we need just simple skilling, and we are in position to do them. For instance, have you ever wondered why you have to import your data cables? Have you ever wondered why you have to import your mouthpiece when your phone, you can't hear people on the other end of the line anymore? These are small things that honestly can be built locally, and that's what GSM 5G is trying to do. Now, coming back to you, Mr. Ali Raza, when I was speaking to Mr. Waiswa earlier, he said one of the things that you train them in is to repair phones.
Yes.
Yes. And I would like to know, apart from phones, what other repairing phones, what other skills have you given people like him, and of course, what you plan to bring on board later?
Actually, Vasva, the way he came to me and who is he today, I think he's now more important than me in that company. Me, I tell even the people, you talk to Vasva, please leave me alone.
Okay.
And I am very happy that he's like, I take him like my own brother, my own blood. He's the one who put it inside my mind that, can we, Mr. Ali, move out of Kampala and we go to village and we visit, we see what is there. First it came to my mind, going to one village cost like 200,000 shilling or 300 in the fuel. But I said, let's try. He got a courage. We went there, we decided to move and we study. These people, they really need basic knowledge. You know the basic knowledge? They don't know even the name of which kind of laptops are available in this world. For example, laptops are available like Dell, HP, we heard about, Apple and Samsung and Lenovo as well. So we got interest on that. So that's why we focus on that. at least we complete the basic sector of the district to district, and they were more welcoming us than
You see, in Kampala, there are so many places you can go to, for instance, to have your phone repaired and, you know, your laptop, if any. But so what you're trying to say is that you moved out of Kampala.
Yes, already.
And went to other places.
Yes, yes,
and
yes,
have
yes.
been skilling the youth
Yes,
there
we
to
make
do these things so that people don't have to travel miles and miles to
Yeah,
come to
but
Kampala.
our plan is that, for example, you are staying in Kabale and you are holding iPhone 12 Pro Max and you got a problem for the battery. You don't need to come to Kampala to 450 kilometers and just say I want to change the battery. You must come to your area where you're staying. He accesses, he can call to Waswa or us or anybody in Kampala that you have original battery, send us. We send, but the mechanic has to available there. So you get a facility. Apart from mobile phone repairing, I told you we are dealing in software engineering, satellite engineering, laptop engineering, because laptop it is again has started boosting up because the children needs it, because there was some time came up mobile took over the place of the laptop, but now at least last 1.5 years we are still thinking laptop is more needed. So mostly, as I said it, 55% product come in this country on a high-end products recondition.
I've actually had people say that, for instance, some of the iPhones we have in this country, when you check them, their quality is not the same quality of an iPhone that is in the UK market. Is that true?
It is true. I will agree with you. Actually, this is my business and I never wanted to mention it because I have my own beautiful colleagues who is doing business. They will kill me maybe after that. So, but the problem is...
So they have been reconditioned?
No. iPhone, for moment, iPhone 15 Pro Max has launched. Now, iPhone 13 Pro Max will be reconditioned now.
Okay.
The moment somebody will give you iPhone 13 Pro Max that it's box pack, it's not original phone.
Wow. If you buy it locally here.
Not locally
Most
here,
likely
anywhere,
it's not
because
an original phone.
Otherwise the quality which goes to London, same quality comes here. Let me clear up with you. But let them sell you as a used mobile. The time they will say it's a box pack phone, they have repacked it.
Oh wow, that is
because of your question I have answered. Otherwise that business belongs to us. But I don't have any fear or doubt to
No,
reply
it's
you.
good to let people know. Now, what Mr. Ali Raza is saying is that since the iPhone 15 Pro Max has just launched, if someone sells you, and I stand to be corrected, but from what I've understood is that if someone sells you an iPhone 13 Pro Max and they give it to you boxed, chances are that they're giving you a reconditioned phone.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
At
So you're
least-
better off buying one they're saying has been used.
Thank you very much.
That's what he's saying. But anyway, we would like for you to join this conversation, and we are asking you to share your views on the role of ICT in empowering the youth for employment. You can reach us through WhatsApp number 0709602592, and if you are on the X app, the hashtag is UBCGMU. And again, we are asking you to share your views on the role of ICT in empowering the youth for employment. Now we have a few comments coming through, and the first one is in form of a question from Nicholas in Jinja, and he is asking you, Mr. Ali Raza, how he can join the ICT sector, how he can join the GSM 5G program.
Mr. Vaswa, last time we went to district in Jinja?
Yeah.
You remember. We goes to Jinja, there is a Ministry of Kataka. Ministry of Kataka has called us for in one church, they makes the program. So there is GSM 5G, they can communicate, he can communicate with us on on his number or my number, so we shall make a plan with him. The problem, we are permanent
Do you
basing.
have like a website where people can actually?
Yes, in our email ID and even in our contact number.
Okay, so the next view, this person says, is called Higo Regan, and he's streaming live. He says, in my own mindset, truly ICT has played a vital role, mainly because everything is now digital. Though it has also created unemployment to some partial extent. He says his question now goes to you still, Mr. Ali, and of course you, Mr. Waswa. He says last time he purchased a 5G network phone, but in a week's time after the purchase, he retrieved a variety of information elaborating that 5G is totally deadly, for it's faster but transmits high waves which are not human friendly, and he would like the entire team to clearly tackle this view, because he still wonders if it was propaganda based or truth based.
I answer. You answer.
For that,
Either of you can answer.
for that, when did he buy that phone?
He didn't mention the time, but he says when he bought it, after a week he started getting all this information that 5G is deadly. And also, even I have had such information, and I think it's important for us to clear the air whether it is really deadly or this is just propaganda.
Because why have I asked that question? That when did he purchase that phone? Because 5G they have just launched it in Uganda.
Yes.
Just recently.
And we...
Just few months, last month? Or?
Last month.
So 5G has been not here in Uganda. Just come. So I don't know when he...
Let him also communicate with us, or you.
Okay. Or probably someone sold him a phone and they, packaged it as a 5G cell, but it wasn't really 5G. But anyway, this one says, two issues to Mr. Ali. Many people, especially in the villages, don't know how to do other things on the phone, including texting, text messages. Can his company play a role in this? Secondly, is there a connection between ICT and the size of the economy? That is, the more output is from agriculture, the more the opportunities for using phone technology. And third, could you, Mr. Ali, share your contact? This is from Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly, to ask my contact number. But there is a point of that is the reason we decided to go to the district to district, because that thing I have informed you by myself that these people, they don't know even about the base of any technology, even the names of the brands. We want Uganda to get change. Uganda based on two things: agriculture, and then we want to produce the own managers and own engineer in this country. That half time they will remain as a woman, agriculture based, and half time they will do their own job.
And so this person is actually asking, since the country is mainly agriculture based, how can we integrate the two, ICT and agriculture, to get to one goal?
Very easy. The moment you will have a knowledge, not 100%, focus on one department, 30-40%, open up small carols, finish your agriculture way, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or maybe you start 4 o'clock in the evening about digging. Actually, I don't know, I'm not agriculture person, but I'm getting to know about it now. So the time you will earn 20,000-30,000 shilling for your 4 or 5 hours time, I hope your life will be better. That is the reason we are stopping our girls to go to abroad in United Arab Emirates, because they are the one big part which they are controlling agriculture sector. The moment they will go, who will control it? Am I right?
Yes, that's true.
That's because they are earning about, I don't want to talk about they are having a bad conditions over there. That is another subject. That's another topic. Let's talk of the base. Base, we must stop them to go to
We must stop them from seeking employment elsewhere if we can give
Yes,
them the
because
skills
there is a
here.
point you have talked about. I want to increase one more point over there, that some foreigner companies, they come and they say, we are giving a job 100 people. How much? 150,000 shilling? Meaning after 50 years doing job, you still cannot make your own house? Because 150 meaning 5,000 shilling per day. It's coming up, I think so. Come on, we need our own manager. We need, and they bring their manager from theirs. We need our own manager to get trained and join that company. And our technical team to join their sector where the machines they have been controlling.
Okay.
That's
And
very clear.
This person says he's writing from South Sudan. His name is James Agaranze from Juba. And he says, I appreciate the effort of Mr. Ali Raza and may he continue with the same spirit. I would like to ask him if it is possible for him to extend his service and technology to South Sudan as well. And before you answer that, this one says, he has liked the program and he says these are the people. Thank you so much. And he says the youth are hungry for such programs, so he's thankful that you are doing what you are doing. And Simon Okia from Bulgaria says he needs to know how he can join and what qualifications he needs to join the GSM 5G program.
When we entered into this subject, I thought that it's need qualification because I also got education. But trust me, without education, still you can learn this one. It's no need education. That's why we focus of the skilling the youth. Okay, skilling the youth without education is little hard, but still not impossible. How do you see?
Yeah.
And as we close, Mr. Ali Raza, the people who are asking if you can extend your service to some parts like South Sudan, is that a yes or no?
We have no problem to, you see, we don't want easy life. To come and make money and go back to the graveyard on a peaceful, we want hard life. We want to work for the country, we want to work for Africa. We want youth to become the champion because they are the future of this country. I think so. We don't want easy life.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ali Raza and Mr. Waiswa, for coming through. And you've shared quite great insights. I am very sure that many people have picked something. Now, you said you have a website, and those who are interested in this program, you can reach out, you can check their website. What is the website in 1 second?
You can contact us on pakor786@gmail.com, 0701 04 7799, WhatsApp 0776 04 7799. Contact now.
Thank you so much for being a part of Good Morning Uganda. This has been the newsreel where we were tackling the issue of how best ICT can empower youth for employment. And we thank you so much for your views. We'll take a short break and we'll be back for Good Morning Uganda business review and traffic updates later on.
Of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nkwanga Ramazan is my name, the head teacher of this great school, Ikumbia Seed Secondary School. The school has the staff room well furnished, administration well furnished, the computer lab well furnished, the library wonderful, the multipurpose hall well furnished. The teachers are also enjoying in the staff quarters. The school has teachers totaling to 28. Ikumbia Seed has embraced the new curriculum. I want to thank the government for that bright idea. There are many students that end up in senior 4 with no document. But with the coming of the IT, the skilled children are going to have certificates in skills as early as senior 3. And that certificate is equivalent to a senior 4 certificate. Ikumbia Seed Secondary School is a very great school that has influenced the lives of people or changed the lives of people of Ikumbia sub-county. I want to thank the parents and the government for this kind of input.
So, you are ready to invest in Airtel's initial public offering? Good choice. I'm going to show you how to do it straight from your phone. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a Securities Central Depository SCD account. Dial *185*85# from your Airtel number. Choose Airtel IPO purchase from the available options. Enter your valid national identification number when prompted. Before you purchase, there are a few things you need to know. The minimum purchase is 2,500 shares. The share price is 100 Uganda shillings. Select the number of shares you wish to purchase. Choose your relevant broker for the purchase. Enter your Airtel Money PIN to confirm the transaction. Congratulations! You receive a confirmation message of your successful purchase.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello there, good morning once again, and it's time for the GMU Business Update. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. There's a lot of information coming in from the business world, the aviation sector, those dealing in importation of cars, and as well as something coming in from Fort Portal, of which we kick off with that particular report in regards to business people in Fort Portal, where most of them are now counting losses. This is due to the fact that a nightmare fire did destroy property worth millions of shillings, and the cause of the fire, which began at midnight, is yet to be determined according to what is coming in, and this is along the Magambo Street in Fort Portal City. And of course, the property, including grain milling machines, maize grains and flour, groundnut milling machines and more, were reduced to ashes. Some of the items were as well stolen during the firefighting operation, surprisingly. And we do stand with the people of Fort Portal, especially the business community within the region and those who operate along the same street, that is the Magambo Street in Fort Portal. Now, this is the second fire incident in Fort Portal in just 2 good weeks following a similar incident in Chisenyi last week, resulting in significant property damage as well. Now, following up on the same situation, affected business owners and the market leaders are now urging the government to provide assistance in such circumstances, and as well they've actually suggested that government should invest in standby fire brigade systems and services to minimize the losses that do occur due to such fire outbreaks, and in case these fire outbreaks do happen again. Well, when we come to the central part of the country, this particular one is rotating around car importation in Uganda, where the Uganda National Bureau of Standards is set to get into this business pretty hard now, because they will be trying to validate whether a vehicle is fit to be on the Ugandan market. Now, the Ugandan car importers do find themselves in a predicament as incoming stock faces uncertainty due to the suspension of the pre-export verification of conformity, the PVOC. This is after the Uganda National Bureau of Standards taking over the inspection of imported vehicles in the country. So you can imagine, resulting in stalled and sluggish business operations, according to what some of the car dealers are saying. So the Uganda National Bureau of Standards will be following suit to ensure that the vehicles that are being imported in the country are of good quality, and of course they meet the standards that are supposed to be met by the vehicles that are supposed to be moving on the road. This, amongst the other issues, is to also address matters like climate change, and of course to avoid pollution by some of the vehicles that are imported with 15 years off their 15 years after their manufacturing date. Remember, the government wants to at least put an end to importing of vehicles that have passed, that have actually passed 8 years from their manufacturing date. And this is quite a move that they're starting up with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards following suit. Now, lastly, from the business, we focus on the aviation sector in the country, where the Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, has come out and asked government to provide funds to procure and at the same time lease planes in order to facilitate the newly acquired air routes to Mumbai, India, and Lagos. Of course, these are new route destinations for Uganda Airlines, and then that means we shall need more aircrafts to meet these particular destinations, or to meet the demand that will be coming after these destinations were approved. So when you look at a journey from Entebbe to Mumbai, that is in India, and then the direct flights from Uganda to Lagos, those ones will actually be 3 per week. So when you look at the other destinations that we do have as well, you would want the government to look at also getting more planes or more aircrafts to join, or more aircrafts to add to the already existent Uganda Airlines crafts. The minister said this during the inauguration of the new board of directors of the Civil Aviation Authority members. That was at the Ministry of Works and Transport headquarters yesterday. All right, now, as we sum up with the GMU business update, our focus now turns on the forex market. This is to look at and see how the market was by close of business yesterday, if you're to beg your pardon. And of course, by looking at the things, the US dollar was opening yesterday in the morning, did open at 3,763.25. Selling was at 3,773.25 as well. Then closing time 3,750.83. Selling was at 3,760.83. The Great Britain pound was buying at 4,554.63 while selling at 4,566.77. The euros was buying at 3,960.87 while selling at 3,971.43. The Kenyan shilling, on the other hand, buying at 25.36 shillings while selling at 25.42 shillings, as the Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.49 shillings while selling at 1.50 shilling. The South African rand 196.69 shillings while selling at 197.22 Ugandan shillings. And now let's get going with what is making headlines at the front pages of the newspapers. But first, we start with those from Uganda before we do cross over to what is making headlines at the front pages of the news papers across the East African region. The New Vision: opportunities awaiting Ugandans, Kenya and Tanzania after the bid to host the African Cup of Nations was approved come 2027. As the government announces new changes in teacher education, New Vision gives you more of the same. Inside the 7 billion shillings Uganda Wildlife Authority scandal, more of the same with the New Vision. Government entities cited in irregular land deals, New Vision gives you more of the same. As China and Uganda relations are at a highest peak. Now, there is also a report regarding government entities cited in irregular land deals, still with the New Vision today, as Uganda's satellite to expire in 3 months. More details of the same. New Vision gives you more of the same today's edition. Now, Daily Monitor today, Thursday, the 28th of September. African Cup of Nations coming home. What it took to win this particular bid, more of the same with the Daily Monitor. Now, Congolese musician Fally Ipupa faces arrest in Uganda. Why is that so? And yet his concert is slated for this particular weekend. Now, government plans to upgrade 3 airports as well. And which airports are those? You can read more about that in the Daily Monitor. Now, in the other news, Japanese road expert dies after attack in Jinja Road traffic jam. Now, crossing the borders to Kenya, the Daily Nation: Muthama Ndemo and 1 billion Kenyan shilling fraud in Konza. More of the same with the Daily Nation. Now, the windfall is relating to tea farmers set for bonus next month. As in the other news, teenager in Maigo murder case to be held for 21 days. Now, AFCON 2027, the Daily Nation highlights it's coming home. Of course, the football extravaganza will be held within the East African region come 2027. How are the 3 countries prepared? More of the same with the Daily Nation. Now, lastly, from our press review this morning, the Citizen newspaper that is in Tanzania: hiring of state entity heads under scrutiny is the bigger headline in front of at the front pages of the Citizen. Now, it's coming home still, the bid to host the African Cup of Nations 2027. More details of the same with the Citizen newspaper. Then the TANESCO chief says, my priorities in the next 6 months. He highlights them. The Daily Nation, the Citizen gives you more of the same. Now, national tourism: fresh plan to boost Serengeti accommodation. As in the national energy perspective, Africa's power wars despite renewable potential. It is Thursday, the 28th of September, and this is Good Morning Uganda. It's now time for us to check out and see what is happening within the Kampala metropolitan with the traffic outlets.
Well, thank you so much, Joram Paul Sonko. And I know that you're excited about AFCON coming home.
Very much so.
Yeah, it is great news for East Africa. So we will wait and see how this is going to go. But it is great news. Anyway, right about now, we jump into the traffic updates. And today, we are looking at the areas of Kabusu, Rubaga Road, coming into the business center. Now, as you can see, the road coming in from Kabusu to join Nabunya Road has a smooth flow of traffic if you're going to the ends of Kabusu. But if you're coming to join Nabunya Road, there is a little bit of traffic build-up. As you can see there, the orange lines are indicative of traffic starting to build. Now, as we move to the areas of Nabunya Road, you can see that from the intersection where Kabusu Road joins Nabunya Road, there is a red line coming through, which indicates traffic jam on that side of town. But then it lets up as it joins the intersection of Rubaga Road. Now here there is smooth flow of traffic. But now continuing to Canon Apollo Chivebulaya Road, there is smooth flow of traffic, as you can see around there. So if that's the road or route that you're using, you are good to go. There is a bit of delays here and there. As you can see, those red lines indicative of some bit of traffic jam there, but nothing to worry about, because I see some traffic jam building up on Hamukasa Road, which crosses through Canon Apollo Chivebulaya Road, but nothing huge to worry about. You should be able to move in record time. Now moving on to Albert Cook Road, you can see that there is some bit of a build up there, and you will experience some delays in some parts of this road, but still the traffic up ahead moves on smoothly. Many of the roads that are within the Mengo Rubaga area have some bit of a traffic build up, but nothing really to worry about, because I see some build up at Sentema Road, but still it doesn't go on for so long, because when you move along, you can see that there is a smooth flow of traffic as you continue ahead. Now looking at the nearby roads of Zake Road, there is some bit of traffic jam there as it joins Albert Cook Road. Yes, there is some bit of traffic there, so if you're coming in from that end, around that corner, you're going to experience a bit of traffic. You might lose a bit of 10 to 15 minutes there, but after that, the good news is that when you join Albert Cook Road, you will be able to move smoothly. Now looking at going ahead and looking at the areas of Obutikiro Road, there is smooth flow of traffic around there, and of course now you're going to encounter traffic jam as you join Chadondo Road and Willis Road. Actually, most of the traffic jam is on Willis Road there as you come from Albert Cook Road. Now around here, prepare to lose some time, because as you can see on your screen, there is a deep red zone over there which indicates intense traffic jam or a huge traffic holdup that might cost you some time as you're moving in that area. But ahead along Willis Road, you're going to find a smooth flow of traffic, so you should be able to move smoothly up until Chitakule Road, where you'll find a bit of traffic in some sections, but overall nothing much to worry about. And looking at the surrounding areas of Mtesa 1 Road, the traffic flow there is actually really pretty well, so you should be able to move in record time. Sentema Road has some bit of traffic, but it is only where you're meeting the intersection that comes in from Chitakule Road. After that intersection, you should be able to move in record time, because when I look at the rest of Sentema Road, there is a bit of delays here and there, but overall the road looks good this morning, so you won't lose much time around that side. Actually, most of Sentema Road looks good this morning. Yes, that's it for our traffic update. If you're moving in the areas of Mengo and Rubaga, this is how traffic looks like this morning. Most of it is actually really free-flowing, so you won't lose so much time on the road as you head to whatever destination that you're going to. My name is Olive Monica Najuma. This has been the traffic update for this morning. Up ahead is agenda, and later on, Ruben Impima will be taking us through the sports updates, and I'm sure he will give you more details regarding that AFCON bid that East Africa won to host AFCON in 2027.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Did you know that the coat of arms of Uganda was adopted 3 weeks before the proclamation of independence by Uganda Legislative Council? On 1st October 1962, the arms were approved by Governor of Uganda, Walter Coates. The coat of arms has many symbols. The shield and spears represent the willingness of Ugandan people to defend their country. There are 3 images on the shield. Those on top represent the waves of Lake Victoria and Lake Albert. The sun in the center represents the many days of brilliant sunshine Uganda enjoys, and the traditional drum at the bottom is symbolic of dancing and the summoning of people to meetings and ceremony. The shield is flanked on the heraldic left side by a crested crane, the national bird of Uganda. On the right is the Ugandan kob representing the abundant wildlife. The shield stands on a green mound representing fertile land, and directly above a representation of the River Nile. 2 main cash crops, coffee and cotton, flank the river. At the bottom is the national motto, "For God and my country." The coat of arms of Uganda was formally established by law on 9th October.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Junko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
I've seen a number of community members out there that have formed themselves into groups and have identified enterprises, agricultural enterprises, rice and all that, and they've actually been successfully cultivating them. They've gone ahead, the project has gone ahead and also introduced small-scale industries like the rice huller, the grinding mills and all that are managed by the groups. All these are successes.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A lovely morning to you, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. That is in case you've just joined. But we are here from 6:30 to kickstart your day. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda, where we usually have a guest in studios. And the most interesting bit of it is that you can directly, timely be part of the discussion or of the topic that we put forward by simply going on our various social media platforms. We have our WhatsApp number that will be popping up on your screen, where you can just type a message and send over, or you can use an SMS as well using that very number. Thank you so much again for being with us, and this time around we want to look at the education sector. We want to understand where is the problem in our education sector? And of late, we've seen a lot of efforts by government to ensure that our learners, people that go through our education system, are what the market demands. Acquire skills that can even see them through. Now, they want to look at a shift from traditional education to progressive learning. And Johnny Mion said to discuss this is an education consultant, Paul Bernard Ntato. Bendera Ntato. Well, quite complicated there. But most welcome to the studio, and thank you so much for finding time.
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator. Yeah.
Now, first and foremost, for my audience to know who am I having, a brief background into this education, because you have so many consultants actually. But why do you feel that you're that consultant who is worth discussing this topic?
Thank you so much, moderator. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the viewers who are with us this morning. Just to go straight to your question, the consultants that I major to is in concept-based inquiry. And I took the initiative to come back to Uganda so that I can put it back to the community, because I realized the government had seen the importance of making a shift from the traditional of learning to the progressive one.
Now, that brings me very fast. When you talk about traditional way of learning and then progressive one, define these two.
Thank you. Just in simple terms, the traditional way of learning is what has been happening in Uganda for all years. I can say since I was born. This is the learning that happens in class, but it is solely in the hands of the teacher. But progressive learning is about learning by doing. So progressive learning is majorly learner-centered.
Now, when you talk about progressive learning, moving away from the traditional learning, we've seen our government try to go in that direction. Yes, not so much, not so longer time when we saw our government introduce the lower secondary curriculum. Are we on the right course?
Yes, we are. We're on the right course. In fact, that's what we should have done so many years back. But the issue comes on the implementation part of it. When it comes to the implementation part of it, I don't think we're on the right path. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about that, it takes me to ask, education happens when there's an instructor or a teacher, the formal education we are talking about.
Exactly.
But let's first examine, do our teachers even understand the purpose of education that people entrust our children with to pass on the progressive that you're saying? Do they understand the purpose of education?
From the experience I have with the majority of our teachers, I think not. Why do I say this? When you look at some of the great education philosophers like Martin Luther King, John Dewey, and Paul Freire, when you compare what their perception for the purpose of education is, they both talk of education that promotes creativity, critical thinking, and analytical thinking. But when you look at our education system here in Uganda, I don't see any of this happening anywhere.
Why don't you say that it promotes critical thinking?
It doesn't, because like I said in the first, traditional learning is about the teacher coming to class, then passing over the information he or she has to the learners. But that is not what education is about. For us, we believe that a teacher is supposed to draw knowledge from the learner, not to impart knowledge. That's why we said that when you are talking of resources that are used in education, a teacher is not a resource. The purpose of the teacher is to facilitate learning, but not to pass off information. So what happens majorly, the teacher comes to class with the facts that he has carried, imparts in the kids after the lesson has ended, then it goes. I was very much disappointed yesterday. I was watching any TV, and it was at around, I think they have a program called Face to Face, children's quiz. But all the questions that the moderator was asking, I can say they were just a mess. Most of the questions were factual. They were asking the kids, these were primary 7 kids who are going to sit for PLOE in the next 2 months. But the question, one of the questions they asked them, if they were able to name the district where the official state house of Uganda sits. I wondered why a moderator would bring up such a question to candidates who are going to sit for examination. So what we are saying in progressive learning is that learning must be conceptual, but our learning is majorly content-based. We do not promote or we do not teach concepts in our education system here.
So now, if we are to move into progressive education, which indeed our viewers, our government is now targeting. That's why you're seeing a review of the lower curriculum, the primary curriculum. That's why you see initiatives right now, which some of our teachers are finding hard. This continuous assessment. It is now becoming also a challenge. When UNEB said the deadline to submit this is that, and you would see the panic and all that confusion. How should we move forward? Because we have lamented. I think for the last 3 decades, I've heard people lamenting our education system, but it's only in the Bible where the book of lamentation carries meaning. You know?
Yeah.
You must move forward and find solutions to these problems. How best do you think, as a third world country, don't bring things of third world country, can we improve our education system?
In fact, we can, because I see there are a lot of efforts by the government to invest in education. When I look at the budget for every financial, there's a lot of money that is invested in education. But I don't know, quite often I've heard most people, when it comes to such issues, and the first blame, they cast it on the government. The government is not doing that, the government. But I don't think it's entirely the government to blame. Because if the government is investing in money, how do you say the government is not concerned with the type of education or the improvement that we need in education? So one, we also need to change our perspectives as citizens. Every Uganda, that one I can say. Why do I say this? About 6 years ago, when I was out of the country, I realized that we have issues in our education system here. I contacted one of my friends in my district, who is a teacher, and I told him, I have a wealth of experience in what progressive learning is or what education should be, but I don't want to keep all this with me. I want to share it with people from my community, especially the teachers. I asked him, is it possible you can talk to the district education officer, set a date, I will be in the country between this time and this. I am going to hire a hall, I'm going to provide breakfast and lunch. People come and I make a presentation to them. I was disappointed when I was asked later that how much I would be paying for the teachers who were supposed to come for this training. So you can see that on the part of the teachers, also I think they're not very much committed. That they need to change. Because we say, if we look at one of the attributes of learner profile is being a lifelong learner. But most of our teachers think that because we went to the college and we graduated with our certificates and that's enough. It's not. Learning does not end. The government is putting in effort to make sure that just train. I know the biggest challenge on the part of the government is that resources are not enough. That's where the biggest challenge is.
Now, you're talking about government putting in money, but we have issues where people have to learn on empty stomachs. Where we have issues where a parent cannot even afford a school uniform. That is why His Excellency woke up and said, you can't chase a child to go back home because they don't have school uniform.
Exactly.
We have issues where even the least you would expect, fine, education is a right, a human right. Even all our constitution and all our protocols we've assented to as a country or ratified, it is a human right. But then why I talked about third world is I doubt if there's an amount of money that government can ever put in to transform this education system, and we see results when there is, could I call it, high levels of poverty?
You are very right. There are high levels of poverty, and this is something that I have always debated with my friends. Now, I thought when I present my arguments to, I don't want to use terms that will demean them, but when I go back to the village and I talk to those people in the village, I expect the reasoning, their reasoning, to differ from the reasoning I get in here. You've talked about the issue of poverty. Poverty is a very difficult thing to fight. But what the government does is to try to fight poverty. Now, what do we do as human beings? I regret to bring this example, but I have to put it forward for the purpose of clarity. You said there are people who cannot afford to buy even food for their children. Even this is true. When I go back to my village, I find somebody saying my child has been chased from school just because he's not able to raise money to pay to the school to buy porridge and whatever. But is this entirely a government's program? That's where my concern is. Because, Mr. Modota, I would ask you, if I'm here, I'm not able to pay 700 shillings for the entire term to the school for my child to take porridge. After 2 years, my income has not changed. I don't expect anything to change. But I have 4 children. But after 3 years, again, my wife is pregnant. I want more children. So how are we going to continue casting all the blame on the government? We also have a role to play. I know the government has got the role to play, like these issues of corruption and the rest. It's the role of the government. But still, we also have a role to play when it comes to corruption. I want to give you an example. Most people have a perception that whatever happens in the government, the top leadership of the government is aware of it and what's happening. I want to say it's not true. Somebody was giving an example that, you know, now this government, blah, blah, is putting in people, this kind of people in government and whatever, so these people have crippled this. Just 2 months ago, I wrote a letter to the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education. I was making a proposal. If there can be any way we can enter an agreement and have training to teachers. When I submitted my letter, I took 3 days to go back to make a follow-up. When I went back, the PS had already acted and forwarded the letter to the commissioner in charge of teacher training. Before I could move to the commissioner, I received a call from the secretary. We are calling you, come here and discuss with the commissioner on these things. So you can see the level at which those top management people can expedite things. But when it reaches somewhere, it cripples, then we say, it's the government which has failed this. I don't entirely agree with that. I know there are areas where the government needs to be more serious, like when it comes to the issue of corruption. But for us as individuals, we also have to. I've given you an example of the teachers. Our teachers don't want to move from where they are to the next level. That's a very big challenge. And if we can have teachers who will appreciate the fact that learning does not stop, I think we can move this country to a different level in education.
Well, we are discussing how best can we shift from traditional education to progressive learning. Now, you may ask yourself, when we talk about progressive learning and then traditional, the way we've been used to, sometimes people call it cram work, where the learner's mind is not disturbed so much to think, but disturbed to remember. You know, when they give you an exam, and you have to remember what the teacher taught you, and then you pass. But it is not where there's a problem ahead of you, and you have to trickle your mind to solve that problem. Now, how do we get to that type of education? My guest here believes it's not only money that government can put in. We all have a responsibility as citizens, as in the education sector. But before I go to some of the messages that are coming in, please keep them coming in. That's the number on your screen. Send me a WhatsApp message or a text message on that same number, and I can assure you I'll read them out and my guest will be responding to that. Well, there's a thinking that we've failed to come up with what is Ugandan in our education system. That even when we go to these new curriculums, new development, still you'll find, is it UNSAID, UNESCO somewhere, that what we've failed to understand, what education do we need as a country. Someone was giving me an example. When you go to China, what is the education focusing on? When you go to North Korea, what is the education focusing on? When you go to India, now very good into ICT and all that, that as a country, what is it that we need and where should our education focus and follow?
Thank you, moderator. Right now, most educational curricula are focusing on what kind of student should a society have. There's a program called International Baccalaureate, and they came up with something called the attributes of the learner profile. One of them is being internationally minded, being a risk taker, caring, those kind of things. Now, is it necessary for Uganda to go global? The answer is yes. So, if it is necessary, what should the government do? There are things that we need to borrow from other countries and bring them here. There is an examination called the Program for International Student Assessment. It's offered by about 79 countries. And the countries you've mentioned, China, India, Korea, and whatever, they are part of that examination that they do. It's assessed after every 3 years, and here they test the life skills before the student goes to sit for what you would call our examinations here, which are very rare. But the problem we have here in Uganda is that education has been commercialized. Why do I say this? There are so many private schools that have cropped up, and there's a lot of competition. But this competition is not about the quality of students that they produce, but it's about the numbers that they produce such that they can get more to earn money. That's where the biggest problem is. So most schools are not focusing on studying and this kind of thing. Last year, the final examinations came when I was around, and I was watching TV. You do hear that a school in Mbale sat 300 students, and all of them passed in first grade. In the history of formal education, it has never been possible that a teacher goes to class, even if you have 10 students, you teach them, and they all pass excellent. What miracle is here in Uganda that a teacher goes to class of 100 students, teaches them in 40 minutes for a number of lessons in a year, and they all understand and pass? It's not possible. Why do I say this? Because the only method of teaching used in Uganda is the lecture method, where a teacher comes to class with the information, he talks to the kids and gives examinations. But in education, we have different categories of learners. We have the visual learners, those who learn by seeing. We have the auditory ones, those who learn by hearing. Then the kinesthetic, those who learn by talking. So how do you tell me that all these students in all Ugandan schools are auditory learners, that when teachers go to class, they express whatever they hand, and the children grasp all this? And it's not possible. It's not possible. There's something wrong with our education system. I want to give you an example. This is a live example. I don't want to mention the country for fear of being reprimanded. I took my daughter to a school, third term. They give her an interview, she passes, completes P1, then goes to the next class. The first term of that year, the teachers call me and tell me, we have a policy here, we have these pamphlets, you buy for the child that's at home, then you bring. I said no, because when I looked at them, I looked at the information and I said no. I said during my free time, I sit with the kid and help her to work out ABCD. The teacher kept quiet. At the end of the term, my child who went to class in the position of fourth, much as I'm not interested in positions, that first term, she became the 17th. They did the test. After 1 month, she was the 28th. The next time, she was 34th out of 52. I asked my wife, what's going on? Because we know the potential of our child, and position-wise, she's declining, but I told her I want to go back to the teacher. When I went to the teachers, they told me, you need to buy this pamphlet for the kid. I told my wife, I'm going to buy this pamphlet, but I'm going to challenge the teachers. So when I bought these pamphlets, they told me, the child is at home, brings to school, we mark and takes. So what I did, I took these pamphlets home, but I didn't give them to my child. I would get a cousin of the same age. That's the work I take to school. They mark. When they did the next test, my child was the fourth. I can tell you, if I mention this school, you can wonder. It's one of the best schools in the country I'm referring to.
You're just reminding me of an incident I had from one school of a relative where she was on coaching. Then I changed school. But after 3 weeks, the teacher called saying I've not sent coaching money. That's like, well, this child is no longer in that school. I transfer the child to another school.
Yes.
So these do happen somewhere, somehow. But you see, education happens in 3 areas. We have the home, the community, and school. If you are to have a fully packaged person who has gone through the education system, when I was growing up in our community, they would tell you if you do certain things for people they believed were learned. They had a saying, "Yeisizanga atasoma." Because away from good grades, there was what was expected. You're a problem solver in the community. Let's go to Gendewa Musomesa. Let's go to the teacher. They would talk to Gendewa doctor because they believe someone has gone through education. It's not only, they have not only acquired knowledge, that they have a first class, a first grade and all that, but they are exposed. Education has looked at the whole being, and they can be referred to, consulted and all that. Today I have people with very good grades. I must say Ugandans are performing very well. We have schools where you get out of 100 students at the end of even first class degrees in Marquette. These days I'm getting shocked. Nowadays getting a first class should even be retained to teach.
And that's the mistake.
But today a first class, maybe we're a bit denser and these children are very bright.
Yeah, and Mr. Madota, one thing that I want to inform the viewers, that's one of the mistakes that our country does. That a child who performs very well, in fact, there are those who are in school teaching, but they are not teachers. It's just because they performed very well in math at school, so they had to call them here. But that's not about teaching. You've talked of learning happening at home, at what? For us in the IB program, when you're talking of a learner, we don't refer to somebody who comes to class and sits, a student. A learner is any member of the school community, a parent, a gardener, a watchman, whatever. Because when you're talking of all these attributes, we're talking of caring, being, if you're a caring person, you must be able to demonstrate social skills. So you cannot say that it's only the teacher who is required to demonstrate those skills, but the watchman doesn't, or any other person. So we have got a challenge there. We are, at some level, we are teaching what is not relevant. I've just mentioned some of the things here. You are asking a primary 7 kid to name the district where the official state. How conceptual is that? What is this going to help? Fine, we need to know this information, but really, is it conceptual? Is this information going to help this child when he or she grows up? So my encouragement to the schools, to the government, and any member of the society is that we must focus on teaching concepts as opposed to content.
Well, let's look at some of the texts that are coming in, very interesting, but please, let's keep them a bit shorter, kindly. Make them short so that we can read them very quick. I'm Andrew Opolot, watching from Naguru. We need to first remove that inherited European curriculum. However, the learner-centered method, like discussions are, role-playing requires a lot of time, but the time allocated for a lesson is too small. Just imagine 40 minutes. It can't be enough to the learner-based method. He's talking about time. Then someone asked, thanks for the program. What does the education consultant say about lack of textbooks, e.g. Christian religious education, and other learning materials for lower secondary new curriculum, yet government wants teachers to implement new curriculum in their schools? That is the Andrew Musinguzi, Kagadi district. Thanks for the show, but remember that as much as you can blame teachers for not going for further studies, there are teachers who have it but no motivation at all. The government has totally ignored the welfare of teachers. Quite long one, but let me see if we can have... No, just keep them a bit short. Let's first go with those.
Thank you so much. I will start with the issue of time. It's true the 40-minute lesson might not be adequate. And this takes me back to where I started from, that have different categories of learners. These 40 minutes can be enough for some students, and for some it might not be. What we need to do, like you said, learning should not only happen in school. That's where that's the only way we can fight time. Because I want to give an example. What our teachers do is going to class, maybe is a mathematics teacher is going to teach the concept of area. In fact, they don't teach concept, because the teacher will come and read whatever he has in the text and it goes off. But if I'm going to teach the concept of area, this doesn't have to start in school. In Singapore right now has one of the best education systems they are using in math. It's called CPA. It's the concrete, pictorial, and abstract. So what they do, if you're going to teach math, you start with the concrete. What do I mean by this? I'm going to class, I'm going to teach area. What do I need to do? Or I'm going to teach perimeter, that kind of thing. But what perimeter am I going to teach? I'm going to teach perimeter of maybe a rectangle or a square. These objects are at home. Every child has got something that is rectangular at home. So what progressive teachers do, they don't come to class and tell the students this is what you're going to do. They may ask them, for example, if they are these young ones, can you draw any pictures of any object that are at home? They are going to draw the television, they are going to draw these phones, and they come. So when they come to school tomorrow, they are going to start discussing this. What this one has drawn, something rectangular, this one has drawn the same. So you may group them and start asking, what is the relationship between your shapes? They will tell you, mine has got 4 sides. He also says the same, they have the same length perhaps. So you've started the concept of area from home, if you bring it here in school. So the issue of time is not enough, but if we can spread learning across, not only to happen in the classroom, then the issue of time will be addressed. In Uganda, lessons start as early as 6. Some start as early as 5, up to 7 in the morning. I can tell you, I have taught for about 17 years in different countries in the world. I have never taught any class beyond 8 hours. Lessons start at 8 in the morning, at 2. They are done. And that is the system. How do you tell me that time for them is enough, and here where we start from 5 in the morning up to 6 is not? The problem here is that we are teaching content. We are pumping a lot. There's a theory that we call less is more and more is less. We teach a lot of things, but in essence, there's nothing the children come up with. While those friends of ours, they teach something small, but they go deeper. I want to give you an example, if time may allow. When I was with my daughter in Muscat, for us in international education, we don't teach these topics and we have got, we call them transdisciplinary themes. Then you identify a unit the child is going to work on. So a child goes to class and the theme is sharing the planet. Because when you talk of sharing the planet, there are a lot of things involved. So my child identifies and says, for me, the issue I want to explore, I want to investigate, is the issue of idling cars. There are parents who come with their cars, they leave them outside, but they leave the engine on for 2 hours. So the child wanted to investigate that. What effect does it have on the environment? So started collecting data. Now, mathematics has come in, that handling is doing statistics. How many vehicles?
Now the trouble you're bringing is the comparison. We have a child who has never even had a chance to know of a car on idling system. But anyway, these are very different.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that example, then I can bring the traditional. What I was saying, this child is in that environment and is able to investigate that. But for us in teaching, we say the best laboratory is our local environment. Because what you teach to the students must be relevant to them and the society. So the children need to know what's around them. But our teaching here does not promote that. We don't teach things that are, for example, if you are going to, we have got marine science. But you'll find that most of the marine science that we have in Uganda have not studied here, have gone somewhere. We have somebody is doing, I was asking somebody, for example, if you want to do research in this and whatever, we have got so many plants here. Mabira forest is here, wind is there. In fact, the whites come here to do research here. Why do we send?
Well, I must let you go in the interest of time, but in just 1 minute, what is your last word?
My last word,
my viewers this morning.
Yeah, my last word is that I want the government to continue funding education so much, and I want also the teacher to have the initiative that if the government has not done this, I am able to come up with something that I can do. I recently wrote here a book. It's called the same, Competence-Based Learning, a Shift from Tradition to Progressive Learning. It has got all the answers to the questions the teachers have been asking about this new curriculum. I was talking to one head teacher who picked a lot of interest in it, but the head teacher's word was, can my teachers read? They cannot read. It says the resources are in school, but they are not willing to read, like I told you.
The reading culture.
The reading culture is not there.
Well, let me end at that. Of course, there is one person who once said, if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. And we've seen very many people who are gifted books, and there is a special gift inside. But at the end of the day, they never read. And when they discover there's something hidden in that book, they only regret. Sometimes even as time has passed by. So we have so much, but let's keep hope alive. We'll be having you more to look at how best we can improve our education system. Ruben is here to take you through sports updates. See you in the next hour. Good morning.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Did you know that the coat of arms of Uganda was adopted 3 weeks before the proclamation of independence by Ugandan